Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about the pathway of water absorption in plants. In last class, we were studied about the mechanism of water absorption. It means active and passive absorption in the plants. When water enter in the root, hair cells and epidermis cells of the root move from these cells through the cortex tissue, further endodermis to pericycle, and finally into xylem of the root. So, this pathway is known as lateral flow. Let's see water absorption path in dicot plant root. Capillary water of soil enter into root hair to epidermis cells, epidermis to cortex region to endodermis to pericycle, and pericycle to vascular tissue. It means xylem vessels and xylem tracheates. This path is known as lateral flow of water absorption. So, this lateral flow of water may take place through three different paths: apoplast path, symplast path, and vacuolar path. Apoplast path is non-living, symplast is living path, and vacuolar path is also living. Firstly, we will talk about the apoplast path. The apoplast is the system of adjacent cell. Adjacent cell means neighboring cell walls that is continuous throughout the plant except at the Casparian strips of the endodermis in the roots. It means lateral flow of water occurs along the non-living cell wall and the interspace present between the cells. It is called apoplast pathway. It means in this path water flow only through cell wall and interspaces cells, but it cannot include the endodermis part, because in the endodermis region Casparian strips are present. What is the Casparian strips? Due to deposition of suberin on the wall of endodermis in the form of strips, so this region become impermeable to water. Now, features of apoplast pathway. First, the apoplast movement of water occurs exclusively through the intercellular space and the walls of the cells, not endodermis region. Second, movement through the apoplast does not involve crossing the cell membrane. It means except cell membrane or endodermis region, lateral flow of water occurs along the cell wall and interspaces present between the cells. Third, this movement is dependent on the water potential gradient. The apoplast does not provide any barrier to water movement, and water movement is through mass flow. Due to this, lateral flow of water through cell wall region, this path known as non-living path of water absorption in the plants. What is the transmembrane pathway? When lateral flow of water across endodermis cells occurs not along the cell wall but along the plasma membrane or cell membrane, so this path of water is called transmembrane pathway. Because due to deposition of suberin compound thickening on the wall in the form of strips, it is called Casparian strip, which are impermeable to water. So, transmembrane path involve plasma membrane and endodermis region, but not cell wall. So, it is the different from apoplast path, because in apoplast path, lateral flow of water through cell wall region, but in transmembrane path, lateral flow of water through endodermis and cell membrane. Now, second pathway, symplast path or living path. When flow of water occurs from one cell to another along plasmodesmata or protoplasmic strain. What is the plasmodesmata? It is the space between two adjacent cells, and it is a bridge-like structure. By this exchange of material between two adjacent cells, that is along the protoplasm, it is called symplast pathway. In other words, the symplast system is the system of interconnected protoplast. Neighboring cells are connected through cytoplasmic strands that extend through plasmodesmata. So, in this path, water travels through the cells, it means through their cytoplasm. Intercellular movement is through the plasmodesmata. Okay, movement through the symplast involve crossing the cell membrane, hence the movement is relatively slower. Symplast movement occurs down a potential gradient, and symplastic movement may be aided by cytoplasmic streaming. For example, cells of hydrilla leaf. It means the symplast consists of entire network of cell cytoplasm which is interconnected by plasmodesmata. So in this pathway, water has to enter the cell through cell membrane, hence the movement is slower. And this type of flow take place by osmosis process, and energy or ATP is required in this. So this pathway is also called living path. Now third pathway, vacuolar path. In this type of flow, water moves from one cell to another along the plasma membrane and not along plasmodesmata. After this, the flow occurs through tonoplast and the vacuolar cell shape. What is the tonoplast? It is the cell membrane of vacuole. And what is the cell shape? Minerals and water both are present in vacuole, then it is known as cell shape. In other words, when water moves from one cell to the next through the plasma membrane, cytoplasm, tonoplast and the vacuolar cell shape, then it is called vacuolar pathway. And this process is also performed by osmosis process, and energy is also used in this process. Let's see the pathway of water movement in the root. It means apoplast path, symplast path or vacuolar path. Red color arrow represent the apoplast path, blue color arrow represent the symplast path, and dotted arrow represent the vacuolar path. In apoplast, lateral flow of water through only cell wall. So, firstly, water from root hair enter into cell wall of epidermis, further epidermis to cell wall of cortex region, cortex region to cell wall of endodermis. But there is a problem due to presence of Casparian strip. Water further cannot pass out, so water into the cytoplasm. After this, enter into cell wall of pericycle, further pericycle to xylem of root. So this path which is known as apoplast path. Second, symplast path. It is living path because in this path water from root hairs directly enter into the cytoplasm or protoplasm of epidermis cells. Further, water across through plasmodesmata to next part cortex, cortex to endodermis, endodermis to pericycle, pericycle to xylem of root. This space is known as plasmodesmata because it is the junction between two adjacent cells. Third, vacuolar path. These are plant cells, so vacuole is present in the center of cell, and plasma membrane or cell membrane of vacuole is known as tonoplast. So in this, lateral flow of water from root hairs to vacuole, further vacuole of epidermis to vacuole of cortex, next endodermis, endodermis to vacuole of pericycle, and pericycle to xylem of root. Now, we are going to talk about the factors affecting water absorption. Absorption of water mainly take place by passive absorption due to transpiration pool, and this is affected by the following factors like available soil water, soil aeration, soil temperature and concentration of soil solution. Firstly, we will talk about the first factor, that is available soil water. Water held in capillary spaces between soil particles is called capillary water, and it is available from to root. This can be easily absorbed by root and is called available water. It means all the water present in soil is not available to plants because in soil gravitational water, hygroscopic water, chemically bound water and capillary water, 4 types of waters are present, but only part of capillary water is available to roots for absorption. The rate of absorption is optimum when water in soil is present in the range of field capacity or water holding capacity. And permanent wilting capacity. What is the field capacity or water holding capacity in the plants? The amount of water held in the soil after all water is drained off due to gravitational force is called water holding capacity. It means when rainwater drain off due to gravitational force deeply, but some amount of water held in the soil particles after draining, this is called water holding capacity or field capacity of soil. Now, what is the permanent wilting percentage or permanent wilting capacity? The percentage of water present in the soil at which the leaves of plant growing in it. First permanent wilting is called permanent wilting percentage of soil. Wilting means मुरझाना. वाटर कितनी परसेंटेज में सॉइल में प्रेजेंट है, और जब कोई प्लांट सीडलिंग करने के बाद ग्रो कर रहा है तो लीव्स को कितने अमाउंट में वाटर चाहिए. यदि सॉइल पार्टिकल्स में वाटर की परसेंटेज कम है और लीव्स को प्रॉपर वाटर नहीं मिल रहा है तो लीव्स विल्टिंग में चली जाएगी, मीन्स मुरझा जाएगी. Now, second factor, soil aeration. Absorption of water takes place rapidly in well aerated soil. For example, loam soil. Loam soil is aerated because air space present in the soil particle of loam type of soil. In waterlogged soils, rate of absorption becomes slow or zero because water holding capacity is less. Now third factor, soil temperature. Ideal temperature for water absorption is 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Beyond 30 degrees Celsius, temperature rate of absorption decrease, and below 20 degrees Celsius, temperature also rate decrease, and at freezing temperature absorption stops altogether. It means generally normal absorption of water take place at temperature of soil between 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. When increasing or decreasing soil temperature, then lower down the rate of absorption of water. It means water absorption is also occurs at particular temperature 20 degree to 30 degree Celsius. Now, fourth factor, concentration of soil solution. Presence of greater amount of dissolved minerals in soil increases concentration of soil solution, and under this condition water absorption is greatly reduced. So, rate of water absorption is high when soil solution is very dilute. It means amount of dissolved minerals is low. Resultant, the rate of absorption is very low in saline soils. Relationship between water absorption and concentration of soil minerals in soil. The rate of absorption is inversely proportional to the concentration of minerals present in soil. Means water absorption is indirectly proportional to 1 upon concentration of soil minerals. Concentration of soil minerals decrease the water absorption by roots. Now we are going to start the next topic, ascent of sap. When water absorbed by root rise up and reaches to the top of the plant and all other organs, then this upward movement of absorbed water from root to the gravitational force is called ascent of sap. And this process occurs through tracheids and vessels component of xylem. It means xylem is water conducting tissue in plants. In xylem, 4 components are present: xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. But only 2 components are involved in the ascent of sap process. And this process occurs against the gravitational force or gravity. Ascent of sap completed by xylem. For evidence of this statement, following experiment is done by scientists. Now, most acceptable experiment is performed on Balsam impatiens plant. In this experiment, dilute solution of safranin reagent is taken in a beaker. Because safranin is a red color staining reagent which is used in laboratory for staining section of plant and it stains lignified tissue. Xylem and sclerenchyma. It means it provide color to xylem part and sclerenchyma region of plant. The root of Balsam impatiens plant is cut and the cut end of the the plant is dipped in the safranin solution in the beaker. After some time, it means 2 to 3 hours, it is observed that the veins in the leaves show red color of safranin. When a transverse section or TS of leaf is observed under microscope, red color of safranin is seen in cells of xylem tissue and leafage part. So this experiment clearly explains that in plant, ascent of sap takes place through xylem tissue. एक बिकर में सेफ्रेनिन का सॉल्यूशन फिलअप करते हैं. सेफ्रेनिन एक स्टेनिंग रिएजेंट है जो रेड कलर प्रोवाइड करता है. अपन को पता है कि रूट है वो वाटर एब्जॉर्ब करती है और ये वाटर लीव्स तक पहुंचता है, जिसको अपन असेंट ऑफ सेप प्रोसेस कहते हैं. असेंट ऑफ सेप प्रोसेस को समझने के लिए अपन एक बिकर में वाटर के अंदर सेफ्रिन की कुछ ड्रॉप डाल देते हैं, इससे सेफ्रिन का सॉल्यूशन बन जाता है. और एक प्लांट लेते हैं, इसका नाम है कनाडा बाल्सम इम्पेटियंस. इस बाल्सम प्लांट का रूट पार्ट कट करते हैं और ये एंड पार्ट है वो इस सॉल्यूशन में डिप करते हैं. कुछ आवर्स के बाद में देखते हैं तो अपन को रेड कलर की वेन्स दिखाई देती है. और इस एक्सपेरिमेंट को क्लियरली समझने के लिए अपन लीफ का थोड़ा सा पार्ट कट करेंगे और लीफ का ये सेक्शन माइक्रोस्कोप में देखेंगे तो वेन्स के अंदर जाइलम पार्ट है वो पूरा रेड कलर का दिखाई देगा. सो ये क्लियरली इंडिकेट करता है कि सेफ्रिन सॉल्यूशन रूट के जाइलम से, स्टेम के जाइलम से लीव्स के जाइलम तक पहुंचा. इट मीन्स जाइलम ही वाटर कंडक्टिंग टिश्यू है जिसके थ्रू मिनरल्स एंड वाटर लीव्स तक सप्लाई होता है. नाउ mechanism of ascent of sap. To explain the upward rise of water and dissolved minerals against gravitational force, various theories are given to explain the mechanism of ascent of sap. Vital force theories, root pressure theories, and physical force theories. But most acceptable theory is physical force theory at present time. But firstly we will talk about the vital force theories. According to these theories, living cells involved in ascent of sap. Opinions expressed by some scientists in this regard are as follows. वाइटल फोर्स थ्योरी के अकॉर्डिंग असेंट ऑफ सेप की प्रोसेस लिविंग सेल्स के थ्रू होती है, नॉन लिविंग सेल्स के थ्रू नहीं. इस थ्योरी और स्टेटमेंट के लिए दो अलग थ्योरीज अलग अलग साइंटिस्ट के थ्रू दी गई. फर्स्ट है रिले पंप थ्योरी इन 1884. अकॉर्डिंग टू Godlewski scientist, the living cells of xylem, parenchyma, and medullary ridge, which are present between xylem and pith region show periodic changes in their osmotic pressure. It means the ascent of shape is due to rhythmic change of osmotic pressure of xylem, parenchyma and medullary ridge. So, the upward movement of water is due to the force created by pumping activity of wood parenchyma and cells of medullary ridge. It means medullary ridge and पेरेनकाइमा टिश्यू में रिथमिक चेंजेस होते हैं जिसके थ्रू वाटर की अपवर्ड मूवमेंट होती है गॉडलिव इसके साइंटिस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग. सेकेंड ओपिनियन फॉर लिविंग सेल इन्वॉल्व इन ascent of shape given by J.C. Bose scientist and theory name is pulsation theory. According to this theory, ascent of shape is due to the pulsatory activity of the innermost layer of cortex. It means before the layer of endodermal cells. Cells of cortex region create pulsation activity by which upward movement of water. Jagdish Chandra Bose performed this experiment on Indian telegraph plant Desmodium gyrans and represented this theory by electric probe galvanometer instrument. And innermost layer of cortex is known as endodermis. We can say that the cells of innermost layer of cortex just outside the endodermis show rhythmic pulsation which causes pumping of water from cell to cell in upward direction. But there was objection of vital theory. According to Strasburger scientist in 1891, when living cells of plant become dead due to picric acid, then ascent of shape represented by a branch which contain all dead cells. It means in ascent of shape, living cells is not helpful and ascent of shape done by dead cell. In other words, the living cells are not directly related to the process of ascent of shape according to Strasburger scientist, because due to addition of picric acid in lateral flow pathway, cells become dead, but ascent of shape process not stop. It means dead cells also involve the ascent of shape process. Next, root pressure theory. This theory was put forward by Priestley scientist and root pressure term given by Stephen Hales. Stephen Hales scientist is the father of plant physiology. What is the root pressure? The positive pressure found in the shape of xylem vessels of root is called root pressure. Shape of xylem means water and minerals are present in xylem vessels. In other words, a positive pressure develops into xylem sieve, tracheids and vessels due to turgidity or activity of root cells is called root pressure. Inward flow of water in the parenchyma cells of cortex of roots creates a tension on the elastic wall of these cells. So, due to accumulation of water, a hydrostatic pressure is developed in these cells. When the wall tend to return to their original state, some amount of shape is forced into the tracheal elements of xylem. So, on account of this, a pressure develops on the water column of xylem due to which it rises up. It means this positive pressure developed on the xylem sieve of the tracheal elements and vessels is called root pressure. And this pressure develops in xylem vessels and tracheids when transpiration proceeds or water loss is low. So, root pressure pushes water upward in xylem. This positive pressure can be demonstrated and may be measurement with the help of manometer. It means manometer is the measuring instrument for root pressure mapping. Important point: root pressure generally maximum in early morning and rainy season. Conditions favor root pressure are as: first, low rate of evaporation and transpiration. Second condition, high atmospheric humidity. And third, root pressure exists at late night and early morning. Application of root pressure are as following. First application of root pressure is that it is responsible for pushing up water to a small height in the stem. Second, it is responsible for guttation and extraction or bleeding in the plants. What is the guttation? When loss of water at early morning in the form of liquid droplet, then it is called guttation. What is the exudation? When xylem sieve is excreted out by root pressure. And the maximum value of root pressure is 2 atmosphere, and this 2 atmosphere pressure is sufficient for the rise of water up to a maximum height of 20 meters only. Whereas in very high woody tree, a pressure of 12 atm is needed for rise of cell. Gymnosperm plants include some of the tallest trees, and root pressure has not been observed in gymnosperm plants. Hence, the theory of root pressure has some limitations because it can be of significance in some plants under some condition only. So, root pressure is absent in woody plants like gymnosperms.